Hello guys, welcome back to Archive Ryzen. In this video, I like to talk about LYFE Infinite Sight DPS comparison, weapon comparison, and her logistic talent priority. The weapon I'm gonna compare is LYFE's signature weapons, Nightborn Crown, and her free-to-play weapon, Revolving Glow. Like usual, I'm gonna show you a calculation verification first between both of these weapons. You can skip to the calculation result by using this video timestamp if you already trust my calculation. This is my LYFE Infinite Sight stat at Manifestation 0, max level Tier 1 Nightborn Crown stat, and level 1 Tier 1 Revolving Glow stat, and my temporary LYFE's Logistic stat. Here is LYFE's shooting damage to Joseph Bison with signature weapon debuff fully active. And her actual shooting damage is 1035. If we compare with the calculation result, the percentage difference is about this much, still between plus minus 1%, which means it's acceptable. Next is her actual standard skill damage. If we sample one of this number and compare it with the calculation result, the difference is also still within plus minus 1%. For dodge damage is about this much in the actual number, and if we compare it, still within plus minus 1%. Her insight ray damage is the number that didn't show crit damage. For example, this 3343. Compare it, still acceptable. Last is her ultimate skill actual damage when against Marked Bison is 6544. If you compare it, still plus minus 1% with the calculation result. If you're questioning why there is so many numbers in here, I just wanted to make sure about the ultimate skill Neura upgrade where it can provide up to 25% more damage. So the difference is, when hitting one marked enemy, it will provide 15% ultimate skill damage taken, 2 marked enemies 20% damage taken, and 3 marked enemy 25% damage taken. And unlike Bison who has minus 10 kinetic coefficient resistance, Woody has minus 20 kinetic coefficient resistance instead. Then, Boo, also in plus minus 1% with the actual number. Next is her free-to-play weapon calculation verification. Actual shooting damage is 264, while in the calculation is this, very close. Actual standard skill damage is 260 when compared with the calculation, plus minus 1%. Actual dodge damage is 940 compared with the calculation result, plus minus 1%. Last is her ultimate skill damage, 2574 when compared, also plus minus 1%. Now let's get to the important part, which is the calculation result. For this calculation, I use LYFE stat at Manifestation 2. The weapon stat is here, Nightborn Crown Tier 2 stat and Tier 1 stat. Revolving Glow Tier 5 stat. For her Logistic stat is here. The Logistic have 2 Grade B attack percent talent, which is 14% total, and 2 B Grade elemental damage talent for third talent, which is 11.x% total. The first thing we can notice from this calculation is the Revolving Glow can provide more improvement percentage for LYFE, that is 15%, while Nightborn Crown only this much. No, I'm just kidding. From both weapon skill description indeed almost sounds the same. But the signature weapon skill is talking about skill and ballistic damage taken, which is second best buff in this game after final damage. So the total stat will be like this, where signature weapon stat has additional multiplicative buff that can significantly improve LYFE's damage. The second things we can notice is, when casting standard skill only deal a small amount of damage, so its main purpose is to put mark on the enemy. The real deal is come from the inside ray damage, where the damage is almost as high as dodge shot or can even surpass it, depend on the number of marks put on a single enemy. The dodge shot damage is this much, while the inside ray damage is in here. When the enemy has 2 marks or 3 marks, the inside ray total damage will increase significantly that can surpass the dodge damage. So make sure to always read your standard skill before the max duration ends. The max duration lasts for 10 seconds while the standard skill cooldown is 8 seconds. So there is 2 second gap to use standard skill before the max disappear. And the third thing we can notice is ultimate skill DPS is not high when against single enemy, even when the enemy has 3 marks on them. So make sure to use it when against a bunch of mobs enemy on the field. And don't use it against boss because it will only waste your time. Next is the weapon DPS comparison. In order to calculate this, I use this skill rotation that only possible for LYFE manifestation too. This is the perfect skill rotation by assuming you always manage to dodge the moment dodge shot gauge fully charged. So you didn't waste any single bullets to normal shot. But because it's almost impossible to get the timing right, I use this one instead by assuming you waste 10 bullets to normal shot. So the skill rotation start with standard skill, 5 times dodge shot, 4 times normal shot, and the last shot is to unload the remaining bullets. This skill rotation makes the reload action happen more faster than the perfect rotation, but of course with a little bit more lower damage. And the whole cycle needs about 7.55 seconds, but because the standard skill cooldown is 8 seconds, so let's just assume you need 8 seconds because the logistic for this calculation didn't have skill has talent stat. From this weapon comparison, you can see the signature weapon is a must pull weapon. It has really big gap with the free-to-play weapon Revolving Glow due to that free-to-play weapon can't provide any damage taken like signature weapon did. So I highly recommend you to pull for this signature weapon. And about the tier 2 weapon is also quite huge gap that worth it to pull. Or you can just use the limited 5-star weapon selector to get this weapon second copy for free, just like what I recommend before in this video. Then, what about LYFE Infinite Sight DPS compared to other top tier DPS? Here is Cherno Enigma and Katia Blue Ball Sustain DPS in the same state and condition for comparison. You can see LYFE DPS is more or less in par with other top tier DPS, and can even highly surpass them when against enemy that has multiple parts. So, is he a meta waifu operative? Yes, indeed. But keep in mind that this is still a raw DPS comparison, because soon LYFE will get a support operative that highly synergizes with her, which is FENNY STARSHINE, that can provide a bunch of additional special bullets, allowing LYFE to dance even more wilder and longer, which might be able to make her team DPS to highly surpass other team DPS. So the conclusion is, her signature weapon Nightborn Crown Tier 2 is 21% more higher than Nightborn Crown Tier 1. Her free-to-play weapon Revolving Glow Tier 5 is 25% more lower than Nightborn Crown Tier 1 DPS, or you can also say Nightborn Crown Tier 1 DPS is 34% more higher than Revolving Glow Tier 5 DPS. Next is Logistic Talent Priority. The highest priority is Attack percent, that triple S grade talent can provide 17% improvement to LYFE DPS output. Second priority is Alignment Index that can provide 8% improvement to LYFE DPS output. The third priority is Crit Damage that can provide 3.5% improvement to LYFE DPS output. Fourth priority is Crit Rate that can provide 3% improvement to LYFE DPS output. And the fifth priority is Skill Haste. You only need to have at least one of these talents is enough. Any grade is acceptable, but please don't get more than one because it kinda wastes. Or the third talent is Kinetic Element. So once again, I highly recommend you to pull for her signature weapon due to huge gap from her free-to-play weapon. And getting her tier 2 weapon is also worth a lot because she can be a hyper carry operative that can eliminate a bunch of mobs or boss in a few seconds. I will upload a new video that explains about her skill, team compilation, and recommended boss next, so please stay tuned. That's all from me, thank you for watching, see you next time, cheers!